In this video, we're going to learn about concentrations and dilutions, what those terms mean, and then also how to calculate for concentration of a solution, and then how to calculate to do a dilution for a solution. So first, let's talk about concentration. Concentration is a word that we've heard a lot before, but let's put an actual definition with it. It's the measure of the amount of solute and solvent in a solution. Now, that's pretty broad because there are a lot of different ways that you can measure concentration. The way we're going to see it noted is like this. So whatever substance you're looking at, you'll see brackets around it. Brackets tell you concentration. So if I had brackets and then NaCl equals 4m, that would tell me that the concentration of my sodium chloride solution is 4 molar. And we'll come back to that a little bit later. But if you put brackets around something, that's telling you the concentration of that, at least for the molar concentration. There are 3 different main ways to measure concentration of a solution, and we're going to look primarily at the first one. The first one is called molarity. So that should tell you that you're looking at moles. Specifically, you're looking at the moles of solute divided by the liters of solution. So it's moles over liters, or moles per liter. The second way, and that one's noted by a capital M. So capital M means molarity. The second way is called molality, and that's a little m, and that's also dealing with moles of solute, but instead of dividing by liters of solution, you're dividing by the mass of the solvent. So molarity is moles of solute, liters of solution. Molality is moles of solute, mass of solvent. And then the last way that you often see concentration is a percent volume or a percent by mass, which is just like the percent of any other type of percent. So it's, in this case, your mass or volume of the part you're looking at divided by the mass or volume of the whole thing times 100. So that's your percent. And like I said, we're going to focus on this one right here. We're going to focus on molarity. So let's look at a couple of examples. So our first example says you have 3 moles of potassium iodide and 500 milliliters of water, and you want to calculate the concentration. Well, I know that my molarity is equal to moles of Ki divided by liters of H2O. Well, I already have moles of Ki, so that one's good. I have 500 milliliters of H2O, and I need that to be in liters. So I'm going to take my 500 milliliters. There are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter, which gets me 0.5, not milliliters, liters of H2O. And now my solution volume is in liters. So now we're good. So all we have to do to calculate molarity is divide. So molarity is 3 moles potassium iodide divided by 0.5 liters, which gets me 6. And then the units on that are capital M. And you read this as 6 molar. So this is a 6 molar solution. And you have to make sure that you put the M on it, otherwise that 6 doesn't mean anything. In this case, when we're looking at molarity, M is your unit. Okay, let's look at a second example. Our second example says we're dissolving 500 grams of sodium hydroxide in 2.5 liters of water. So if we want to calculate the solution of this guy, same thing. Molarity is equal to moles over liters. I have liters already, but I need moles, so I'm going to take my 5 grams of sodium hydroxide and convert it to moles. And in 1 mole of sodium hydroxide, there are 40 grams, which leaves me with 0.125 moles of sodium hydroxide. So now to calculate my concentration, molarity is equal to 0.125 moles divided by my 2.5 liters from my solution,
which turns out to be 0.05.
Molar. Now, we did this as if we're calculating concentration for all of these, but really, if you know two of the variables, you can solve for the third. So if I gave you the concentration and the volume, you could solve for the number of moles. Or if I gave you the concentration and the number of moles, you could solve for the volume. It's just like any other equation. If you know all of the variables except one, you can solve for the missing one.